Have you ever dreamed of shouting "F you" in your boss's face and then walking out of your toxic job forever? Some employees are doing exactly that, and they are not sorry. Deleting code, sabotaging social media, and sending furious mass emails. One developer even planted a kill switch in his company's systems. When they fired him, it detonated. He got 4 years in prison. Some call it revenge quitting. Others call it rage quitting. Companies hate it, but you have to admit, it's quite entertaining.
Jared, I'm here to tell you that I'm quitting.
So what's really going on? What are the most extreme examples? And what actually happens to these people after? Before we get into why people are doing this, let's appreciate the art form, because revenge quitting has evolved. That story was from 2010, before corporate social media accounts, company-wide Slack channels, and AI agents. The revenge quitters of today have all kinds of new chaotic options. Incident, go viral. Severity, low. HR response, monitoring. In January 2024, Brittany Peach was about to be laid off from Cloudflare, so she hit record.
I really need an answer and an explanation as to why Brittany Peach is getting let go, not why Cloudflare decided to hire too many people and are now actually realizing that they can't afford this many people and they're letting that go.
For 9 minutes, she calmly dismantled 2 HR reps who couldn't give her a single reason for her firing.
It must be very easy for you to just have these little 10-minute, 15-minute meetings, tell someone that they're fired, completely wreck their whole life, and then that's it with no explanation. That's extremely traumatizing for people.
I absolutely understand why you feel that way. And I'll be honest with you, there's nothing that we're going to say in this call in the time that we have that's going to undo the way that you feel right in this moment.
The video got over 1 million views, and the Cloudflare CEO had to publicly apologize. So this is the new playbook. #QuitTalk. Employees filming their exits, their firings, their final days, and sometimes consequences for the companies actually happen. Incident, sabotage the documentation. Severity, moderate. HR response, concerned email. When this Reddit user RedGhost3568's entire team got made redundant, management asked them to document their jobs so outsourcing could pick it up where they left off. Huge mistake.
All of us dropped everything by silent agreement and rode out the week by looking busy, but pretty much doing jack shit. Can't remember a single person documenting anything useful but one maniac I had trained to fill his document with Bible quotes, and another new hire who'd been with us for less than a year who filled their document with useless copy pasta from ChatGPT. Not long after, HR quickly figures out there's no documentation. The shit really hit the fan. Outsourcing can't do much but bleed money, and every project we were doing is dead in the water. They've lost their 2 biggest clients and are now at risk of completely falling apart.
Incident, delete the code. Severity, high. HR response, emergency all hands. Linda Harvey is a management consultant who spent 25 years studying how workplaces fall apart. She's seen this up close.
I did have a friend who was in software engineering and blew up the system on their last day. They felt so exhausted because every single turn was changed. Every 2 weeks, they were going in with a different initiative, a different project. And then this person was up nights, weekends, working against impossible deadlines. And they'd had it. And they'd found a new job. And on their last day, the whole site shut down. Now, again, it shut down for like 6 hours, right? But sadly, every single member of this person's team was then scrambling to fix this thing. Was it a significant detriment to the business? No, it was an annoyance. But it was everybody else, frontline employees. You know, you had customer service that was apologizing for the website being down. You had people, all of his former team members, scrambling to go recover the code. More often than not, what we're seeing is minor annoyances to a company, but a pretty significant trust situation for people's colleagues.
Incident, turn investors against them. Severity, very high. HR response, legal on standby. We wanted to speak to actual revenge quitters, but all of them wanted to be anonymous, even in front of us. So we spoke to them through the most credible source of workplace testimony on the internet, Reddit.
I worked at a startup that was trying to raise money on the basis of their social media following, because I knew it was all bought for. So I tracked the investor down, filled him in on the details, and made him pull out.
Were they a bunch of dicks?
They clapped every time I made an error. Mind you, I was only 21 at the time. They publicly used to threaten me that they'd fire me every time I made the smallest mistake. And once, I heard my boss making up random numbers and it broke my heart, especially because I knew the child of the investor. So I felt a responsibility to call him and tell him the grounded reality.
Did they find out it was you?
They found out, bad-mouthed me. I didn't care.
Well done. Incident, leave a literal burning forest behind you. Severity? Critical. HR response? Legal counsel retained.
I worked for someone years ago doing clearing of the hillside to establish a residential development. This person kept me isolated by leaving me without contact, transportation or any way to do anything. He deflected about paying me for 3 weeks. I had a place to sleep but little food and had to heat by self-supply for wood stove. After 3 weeks of this, I just allowed the brush fire that was burning to be unattended and walked back to civilization. Heard later that his entire hillside burned bare and he was fined for lack of proper burn permits and lost all construction permits. Cheap bastard got what he deserved, including a divorce.
That's not revenge quitting. That's Mad Max. But sometimes, things escalate much farther than a Reddit story. Incident? The nuclear option. Severity? Redacted. HR response? All FBI. Davis Liu was a developer at Eaton Corporation, 11 years. After a restructuring cut his responsibilities, he spent months building something his bosses never saw coming, a kill switch. Malware he named with his own initials. Is DL enabled in AD? Is Davis Liu enabled in Active Directory? The moment they deactivated his account, servers crashed. Thousands of users logged out. It took over a year to remove his code. And $360K in damages. Davis Liu got 4 years in federal prison. Oof. That's the line, really. On one side, we have Bible quotes in handover documents and a satisfying TikTok, and on the other, federal prison. Explosive exits might seem random, but almost half of us have done it, or would do it if things got bad enough. Right now, quitting in general is out of fashion, but Daniel Zhao, lead economist at Glassdoor, believes that resentment is building. A wave of revenge quitting is on the horizon. His logic? The longer the job market stays soft, the more workers are forced to stay. And once it hits up, all the bottled up pressure has to go somewhere. And when people snap, it's rarely about money. It's toxic culture, bad leadership, feeling undervalued. It's personal.
Anybody can go to TikTok, anybody can go to a social media platform, and if they do something right or big enough, millions and millions of people can see what they're doing. So there's this idea that sparks in someone's head. Oh, I could do this and I could be rewarded. We as a society reward poor behavior. So you take the fact that we've got, I could be famous and I could be rewarded for it, and then you factor it into almost like vigilante justice. I felt wronged by this organization, and now I'm going to take it out in the most public way.
In 1976, a fictional news anchor had a nervous breakdown on live television and told the world he was mad as hell and not going to take it anymore. The network turned his rage into ratings.
I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
50 years later, TikTok is doing the same thing, except now the rage is real. But there's a specific pattern in who actually does this.
These are typically individuals who've come into an organization and we're excited to be part of the organization. They believed in the mission or their core values. Something in them spoke to a personal fulfillment. And what they tend to discover is the idyllic situation that was sold to them is not actually true. Their workplace is going to take what they can take from them, and they're going to give them more hours and give them more responsibilities. And so these people feel duped. So many people have a hard time differentiating between who they are and what they do. And these people who are going in and doing, who revenge quit, are people who don't understand that what they do is not who they are. And then they have these kind of breakdown in these moments. And that's when they go into planning mode of like, how can I cause maximum damage with my employer?
But what nobody really talks about is what happens next. Let's compare. Davis Liu, weapon, kill switch. Damage, $360K. Time at company, 11 years. Outcome, 4 years in federal prison. And here, Brittany Peach. Weapon, iPhone camera. Damage, CEO's reputation. Time at company, 4 months. Outcome, better job, 8 months later. The difference? Brittany didn't sabotage anything. She just showed the world what was happening. Several months later, she got a massive position and a 6-figure job at the rival. So, the best revenge quit of the decade was transparency, not destruction.
There's still this moment of like, yeah, I did it, and almost like a pat themselves on the back type of thing. Yeah, I did it, and man, I still feel really, really good about it. Okay, but you feel really good about a thing that burned you, burnt relationships, and in the end, like, didn't really do much.
When someone quits dramatically, the remaining teammates are 9.1% more likely to quit within 135 days. In small teams, that jumps to 14.6%. 80% of people who walked out during the Great Resignation reported regretting it. Among Gen Zs, 89%. Meanwhile, Meta maintains an internal do not hire list, flagging former employees as non-regrettable attrition. That means somebody left, but it's a positive thing for the company because they wouldn't hire them again. Other major tech companies are alleged to do the same. The revenge fantasy is exactly that. For every Brittany, There are many who deleted some code, felt good for a week, and then spend months explaining the gap on their CV. So, what should actually change?
Dear management, I'm writing to inform you that after careful consideration of my personal and professional development,
1. Fire your asshole managers. Fire them before someone else does it for you on TikTok. 2. Stop waiting for exit interviews. 63% of employees would stay if the work environment improved. The information is right there. You just have to ask before they've already mentally checked out. 3. If culture seems too hard, just throw money at the problem. It might work. Robert De Niro once said,
"Don't let yourself get attached to anything you are not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner."
That sounds cool, but based on everything we've seen, most people can't actually do that without setting their career on fire. So we asked Linda Harvey a slightly dangerous question.
If you were to give some advice to someone who wanted to revenge quit, what would you say?
Advice to do it? First of all, I'd say don't do it, right? I'd say it's really not worth your time, energy, and frankly speaking, all of that anger that you have, nobody feels but you. But if we're putting on the devil's advocate hat and I'm like, okay, let's build a plan. If you're going to do it big, don't delete the code. Go to the news, uncover the toxic leadership, put it in Glassdoor, LinkedIn, any place that you can have your voice heard. That's where I would do it. Escalating it and making these poor behaviors, that's what actually affects change.
So you heard it. Don't sabotage. Expose.
The best revenge is being able to go get more money someplace else for the exact same level of work.
Right now, companies have the upper hand. Economy, AI, and global crisis are making everything less stable for workers than ever. People are clinging onto their jobs for dear life, and companies know it, condensing 5 roles into one, demanding 70-hour work weeks. But you can't keep squeezing people forever. For some, being laid off for AI will be the last dry, crusty bit of a 2 to 5 year-long baguette of shit.
When it used to be gender reveals, it was just like, oh, we got a cupcake, and here's the thing. And now it's like people are buying cars, and they've got like big fireworks. I mean, that's where I really see like people taking it. Again, because I think it boils down so much to how can I get attention? I think you're going to continue to see it get bigger and bigger. People are going to have bigger ideas and they're going to film it. And it's going to be on a very grand scale.
So, is the golden age of revenge quitting about to begin? We don't know. But with companies trading security for all-powerful AI, maybe it's only a matter of time until a pissed off employee turns the claws on their company.
Could you do that bit again?
no! I'm saying